Caller, you're live on the air. What's your name, comment, and or question?
Hey, what's going on, Ben? It's JP, man.
JP,
Listen,
how's it
just a
going, man?
couple quick things, man. Again, I think Bernie missed a golden opportunity to have two halves of a great game. He had a good second half. First half could have been better.
Yep.
I think that he literally just missed.
Yeah.
I don't think he was prepared. I think that some of the policy statements he just missed.
Yep.
He just simply missed. I put in the chat that afterwards that he ended up saying that he could have used the Elizabeth Warren point. But again, now half the people have left the room when you bring it up.
Yep.
So again, I think that he may need to cut back on one less rally and have more debate prep so that he can finish this thing. You know, I'm reminded of Mortal Kombat. And at the end of Mortal Kombat, when a person about to die, finish him. And Bernie yet does not know how to finish her when he has her against the rope. She was totally horrible today. And you know she was because they gave him a tie. Mainstream media don't give him that kind of grade. So I just want to let y'all know it was a great show. I love the wisdom that's in the room. Anoa, I love the wisdom that you bring. Man, my man Nick, I love the wisdom you bring. Ben, you know you the fearless leader. Love you both, man. Y'all going to keep doing what y'all do, man.
Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate the call. The lines are open, 857-600-0518. I have to agree, it was he missed so many opportunities, man.
Yeah, if they're calling it a tie, then I mean, she did not. I agree with JP, but also like since she's like she struggled. She struggled too, and so it's not that like she's getting a pass or anything. But Bernie we needed another Miami debate. That's what we needed. And was there no immigration tonight?
No, I don't think there was a single question on immigration.
So that was problematic too because he's phenomenally better than her, despite what they try to say about the 2007 vote. Like he's exponentially better than her on immigration, and he should have tied that whole thing about judgment and foreign policy. While immigration is not necessarily a time policy, they have to train him. And I've said this before. They need to get him some law school, some second, third year moot court students to help train him on how to weave his points in a little bit better, the way she does. Somebody was saying she gets nervous when she starts scribbling. Nah, that's that legal training at work. She's raising up points, whether they're relevant or not. She's raising up points to make sure she can get her digs in at her opponent. This is April now at this point, right? We made excuses in October and December, whenever else. But at this point, there's no reason for it. He needs to be better prepared.
Listen, Bernie Sanders needs, I would say he needs about 10% more attorney in him, and 15% more technocrat in him, so that he can actually shut everybody the hell up. Because the truth of the matter is, here's a secret about a lot of technocrats who are politicians. They're not really technocrats. They have just enough knowledge and enough information to make everyone in the audience be like, oh, maybe we don't know as much as we think we know. And I saw Bill Clinton do this all the time. He would just spout off a lot of things. Some of it made sense, some of it didn't. But it stopped the moderators, it stopped the people in the audience, and it made them seem like they were superior. Bernie Sanders needs to have just that much technocrat in him so that he can address issues quickly, succinctly, and effectively, and he's just not doing that. And then I agree with you, Noah, 100% on him taking notes, using that tactic, because she's up there writing how she's going to pivot. I guarantee you, she hears a pivot and she writes it out and she nails and she delivers. I have to give her that in that regard. I think she's
I can ding Hillary Clinton for a lot of things, but she's strategic, right? And she's the type of person, if you're going to let them do something, they're going to keep doing it. Absolutely. If he doesn't stop her or shut her down, she's going to keep doing it.
I think he does a good job. I just feel like he needs to do it faster. And
wait a minute. His microphone is fixed. I don't know what you did, but your microphone sounds good to me. Go ahead, Nick. You got the floor.
Yeah, he just needs to do it faster. Like, he has a limited amount of time. He needs to make his point. He needs to either front load it or put half of it in the front and half of it in the back, because people aren't going to remember what you say in the middle. They're going to remember the first thing you said, the last thing you said. He needs to make sure he capitalizes. So each one of those points, somewhere in there, there needs to be an attack on Clinton and a double down on your point.
Yep, and last but not least, we're going to take this call. He needs to bring the Brooklyn out of him and a little less Vermont, right? He doesn't go for the blow, like he doesn't go for blood. And if he hasn't noticed, Hillary Clinton and her minions are coming for blood. They are trying to eviscerate him and leave his bowels laying on the floor in front of him, politically speaking. And he's being still kind of gentle, and the only things that
Hmm.
he's being tough on are almost things that he's being forced into because of his surrogates, in my opinion. He's not come out and really hit her across the head because I mean, how many things did he not mention tonight that he could have
Honduras.
Honduras?
And that was in the news this week. That was huge. In the way she doubled down, it was in her. I was expecting him to. I'm sorry. Like I was expecting him with the New York Times when she went into the New York Times interview. You said this. I was expecting him to come back at her because if y'all both had the same sit down, right? That's fair game. That's even though that's not what the topic is. That's what you need to go to because it
Yep.
gets raised. I
Yeah.
mean, sorry for the legal analogies, but it's a character thing, right? Like, he doesn't, he's still reluctant to go after her, but when she opens the door,
Oh
it's
my God.
absolutely fair game.
Yes, she set herself up for at least 3 knockdowns, and he didn't take it. Nick, what were you about to say? I'm gonna
You
wrap
know
it.
what's so funny about this whole debate? It seemed like there was not a lot of important issues actually brought up. I don't know if you guys noticed. This whole debate seemed more like a tit for tat, or you said this or you said that. It really wasn't so much as an issue or a policy debate. It was
I
more
agree.
like a media frenzy debate, and that's why it really wasn't conducive to him as normally it
That's
would be,
and
because
that's
there weren't a
probably
lot of
too.
avenues for him to open up and really hit her on that corporate welfare. There weren't a lot of avenues for him to hit her on deregulation. There just wasn't enough avenues for him to attack her corporatism. It seemed like that was pushed back to the side.
But you
Hmm.
said this last week, Nick. I'm pretty sure this was you. Like, you don't ever argue the frame someone gives you. You don't let them limit you to that frame.
And he did some of that. He did pivot to his talking points in certain questions. He brought up healthcare and he brought up Social Security. He tried to extract a pledge from her, and she kind
Oh,
of tried to
okay.
dance around it, and he
That
cornered her.
that on Social Security, right? It was two different ones. It was Social Security, and he cornered her in a position, and he exposed. Now I'll give him this. He exposed the fact that Hillary Clinton will say anything in the moment to survive the moment, and he closed the deal on her on that.
On climate change as well.
Climate
In
change.
Fight for 15, he
Social
kind of came
those
back at her
three.
too.
He nailed her on those 3 things, and you have to ask the question, like, do her followers real, like, we can see that Bernie Sanders was not on his A game. We can see that Bernie Sanders needs to fill in the gap with some details, right? There's some details that he should just know and be able to hit. We see that Bernie Sanders needs to improve on his delivery, particularly with the gun question, right? But can her supporters not see that Bernie Sanders expose the reality that she would say anything in the heat of the moment and then try to gyrate her way? I don't know why I said gyrate, but gyrate her way right out of it.
Well,
Let's
because
take
I was saying dance.
Dan. Yeah, shucking and jiving for real though. Caller, you're live on the air. What's your name, comment, and our question?